First of all, thanks for being here in my YouTube channel. So in this lesson number 7 on the topic syllogism, we are going to solve 7 different questions based on the concept called complementary pair number 2. So remember that in the previous lesson I have told you one thing, there are two major complementary pair in syllogism. There are many different complementary pair, but there are two major complementary pair. One is some A or B and no A is B, and the second complementary pair is some A or B and some A or not B. So in the previous lesson, lesson number 6, I think we have solved 6 different questions that is based on the concept called complementary pair number 1, that is some A or B and no A is B. So remember that only if it satisfies the rule, then we should say it's a complementary pair. If it does not satisfy the rule, then we should not say it's a complementary pair. So got it? So if you didn't watch my lesson number 6, kindly go and watch lesson number 6, then come to this lesson number 7. If you directly come and watch this lesson number 7, you can't able to understand this concept. So remember that watch lesson number 6 completely, watch all the 6 questions. So after understanding the concept 100% here, then watch this lesson number 7, right? So friends, just we can recall something, and what I have taught you in lesson number 6 is diagram it should be true, in another diagram it should be false. Only then you should say the given conclusion satisfies the complementary pair rule. So we can say that answer for this question is either or, which satisfies the complementary pair. So remember that in basic diagram the no conclusion should be true, in the possible diagram no conclusion should be false. If this case occurs, then we can say that it's a complementary pair. 100% the answer for this question is either or. And remember that in the basic diagram itself, if the no conclusion is wrong, then we can directly say that it does not satisfy the complementary pair rule, right? So remember that in basic diagram it should be true, possible diagram false, then it's a complementary pair. If in the basic diagram itself, if this conclusion is false, then it's not a complementary pair. So these are the steps that we have seen in lesson number 6. Now let me move on to this lesson number 7. Similarly, in this complementary pair, some A or B and some A or not B. Similar to this lesson number 6, initially we should not concentrate on some A or B. Our full concentration only on some A or not B. So listen carefully, most important, if it is some A or not B, again you need to draw two diagrams. One is a basic diagram and second is a possible diagram. In the basic diagram, this some A or not B should be 100% true, right? In the possible diagram, it should be 100% false. Only then you should say it's a complementary pair. Friends, got it? As same logic here, 100% true in the basic diagram, 100% false in the possible diagram. And in the possible diagram, in case if it is 50% false and 50% true, I am saying about the possible diagram, right? In the possible diagram, this conclusion, if it is 50% false and 50% true, then again it does not follow the complementary pair. Only if it is 100% true in the basic diagram, 100% false in the possible diagram, then only you should say this complementary pair answer is either or. Got it, friends? And another important thing similar to this concept, in the basic diagram itself, if this sum A or not B is false, then it does not satisfy the complementary pair rule. Got it? So I think this is enough. And what we are going to do is we are going to solve 7 different questions, right? So first 3 questions we are going to solve where the complementary rule follows. And the 4th question is completely different. Don't forget to watch the 4th question. And from question number 5 to question number 7 where complementary rule does not follow. Got it? So totally we are going to solve 7 different questions. So remember that, take a note of it. What you need to take a note of it is, if it is a complementary pair that is based on some A or B and some A or not B, initially you should not concentrate on some A or B. So leave that conclusion. Your concentration should be only on some A or not B. So if it is some A or not B, you need to draw two diagrams. One is a basic diagram and another is a possible diagram. Similarly, in the basic diagram, some A or not B should be 100% true. In a possible diagram, the same conclusion should be 100% false. then only you should say it's a complementary pair. In case in a possible diagram, if it is 50% true and 50% false, then definitely it does not follow the complementary pair rule. Got it? And another important thing, in the basic diagram itself, if some A or not B is false, then you can directly say, without drawing a possible diagram, you can directly say it does not follow a complementary pair rule. So if it follows a complementary pair, then the answer is either or. If it does not follow a complementary pair, then you need to check both the conclusions separately. Got it? So let me move on to all the 7 different questions based upon this complementary pair number 2. Question number 1. So here they have given a statement that no car is truck. So no car is truck. Okay. And the second statement is all trucks are bike. So all trucks are bike. So they are saying that no car is a truck, right? And the third statement, some bike or cycle, then some cycle or scooter. So some bike or cycle and some cycles are scooter. So finally we have drawn the Venn diagram for the given statement, right? So now let me move on to this conclusion. So conclusion number 1, some truck or cycle and some cycle or not truck. So by seeing both the conclusion, we can say that it looks like a complementary pair in the logic, that is some A or B and some A or not B. So what you need to do, you need to initially avoid conclusion number 1, that is some truck or not cycle. You don't want to concentrate conclusion number 1. Your full concentration should be only on conclusion number 2, that is some cycle or not truck. So for this conclusion, you need to draw 2 diagrams. One is a basic diagram and second is a possible diagram. In a basic diagram, this conclusion number 2 should be 100% true. In the possible diagram, the same conclusion number 2 should be 100% false. Only then you should say answer for this question is a complementary pair. Just let me move on to this conclusion number 2, some cycle or not truck. So I have told you how to read that conclusion, some cycle. First, cycle sum will be this region and also this region. Got it, friends? Cycle sum will be, we have both the region, that is this region is cycle sum and also this region is cycle sum. So what they are saying is some cycle or not truck. Yeah, this 2 region is definitely not truck in a basic diagram. Got it? Listen carefully, some cycle. Some cycle we have 2 region, this region and also this region. In both the region, we can say that some cycle is not truck. So we can say that 100% in the basic diagram it is true. Now let me move on to the possible diagram. I am just going to draw a possible diagram now. So car, we can draw like this, truck, and this is bike. And what they are saying, some bike is cycle. So we can draw like this, some bike is cycle. And again, some cycles are scooters, right? Or otherwise we can draw like some cycles are scooter. Listen carefully, when we draw a possible diagram like this, they are saying some cycle or not truck, but we are saying some cycle or truck. This complete region we can say that some cycle or truck. Friends, got it? Listen carefully. In this basic diagram, some cycle or not truck. Yeah, some cycle, both the region is not truck, which is exactly true, 100% true. So we can say that in basic diagram it is true. While we are drawing a possible diagram, now when we draw a possible diagram like this, some cycle, this region, right? They are saying some cycle or not truck, but we are saying this region some cycle or truck. So 100% the conclusion is false. So we can say that answer for it satisfies the rule. So we are saying that answer for this question either 1 or 2 follows. You don't want to consider the conclusion number 1, that is some truck or cycle. You don't want to consider it. Just concentrate only on the second conclusion. In the basic diagram, some cycle or not truck is 100% true. In the possible diagram, some cycle or not truck is false, 100% false. So we can say that answer for this question is a complementary pair, that is either 1 or 2 follows. Just watching one question you can't able to understand it. Watch all the 7 questions, only then you will get an idea how to solve this question. Second question, some paper or table. So some paper or table. And next is all paper or note, right? All paper or note. So all paper or note. And the next is all table or mobile. So all tables are mobile. Okay, and the last statement is some books are mobile. So some book or mobile. So finally we have drawn the Venn diagram for the given statement, which is called as a basic diagram. So now let me move on to the conclusion. Conclusion number 1, some book or note. Conclusion number 2, some note or not book. So it looks like a complementary pair, that is some A or B and some A or not B. So you don't want to consider the conclusion number 1, some book or note. Better leave that conclusion, concentrate on conclusion number 2, some note or not book. So for that conclusion you need to draw two diagrams, basic diagram and possible diagram. First let me check in the basic diagram whether it is 100% true or not. Some book or not book, sorry, what's I saying? Some note or not book, some note. So some note will be this entire region, right? Some note, this complete region, what they are saying is not book. Some note or not book. Yeah, it's exactly correct. Some note, this complete region is not book, right? 100% it is not book. So we can say that in the basic diagram it is true. So now let me move on to the possible diagram. They are saying some note or not book. So I'm going to draw a possible diagram. So paper here and note, table and also mobile, and they are saying that some mobiles are book, right? So I can draw like this, some mobiles are book. We can draw a possible diagram like this also, right? When you draw a possible diagram like this, what they are saying, some note or not book. So what we are saying, some note or book, right? It's a possible or not? Yeah, some note or book is possible, but what they are saying, some note or not book. In the basic diagram 100% true, but in the possible diagram we can draw many possible diagram. In all the possible diagram we can say that some note or book is possible, but they are saying some note or not book. So in the possible diagram it is 100% false. So in the basic diagram it is true, in the possible diagram it is false. So conclusion follows the complementary pair rule. So answer for this question, either 1 or 2 follows. Question number 3, all doctors are lawyers. So all doctors are a lawyer. And the second statement is some scientist or lawyer. So some scientist or lawyer, okay. And the last statement is no lawyer is a teacher. So no lawyer is a teacher. So finally we have drawn the Venn diagram for the given statement, which is a basic diagram, right? So now let me move on to the conclusion. So conclusion number 1, some doctors are scientists, and conclusion number 2, some doctor are not scientist. So it looks like a complementary pair. Concentrate on the second conclusion, some doctor are not scientist. In the basic diagram they are saying some doctor or not scientist. Yeah, similarly some doctors or not scientists is exactly true, because there is no connection between doctor and a scientist. So 100% some doctor or not scientist is true. Now let me move on to the possible diagram. The same diagram we can draw like this, right? I can draw like this, right? What they have said in the second statement, some scientist or lawyer. Yeah, some scientist or lawyer, I can draw a Venn diagram like this. Now I am considering this as a possible diagram. They are saying some doctors are not scientists. I am saying that some doctors are scientists. So in the possible diagram, the second conclusion is false. So we can say that in a basic diagram it's 100% true. In the possible diagram it's 100% false. So answer for this question, it follows a complementary pair rule. So answer for this question is either 1 or 2 follows. So friends, got it? Easiest logic. So don't forget to watch the next question, most important question. Fourth question. So remember that this question number 4 is most important. In many competitive exam you can see in the syllogism topic that is based upon this question number 4, right? So what they are saying is all tables are laptop tablets, all tables are laptops. So all tables are a laptop. And the second statement is some laptops are computer. So some laptops are computer. And the last statement, all computers are smartphones. Okay, so finally we have drawn the basic diagram for the given statement, right? So look at the conclusion. They have given 4 conclusions. Conclusion number 1, so some table are computer, and second conclusion, some table are not computer. Look at conclusion number 3, some laptops are smartphone. Conclusion number 4, some laptops are not smartphone. So by seeing all the 4 conclusions, we can say that first 2 conclusion looks like a complementary pair. Similarly, next 2 conclusion, that is conclusion number 3 and conclusion number 4 is another complementary pair. So remember that, let we do one thing. First let we concentrate on the first set of complementary pair, that is conclusion number 1 and conclusion number 2. So conclusion number 1, some table or computer. Conclusion number 2, some table or not computer. So you need to concentrate on the second conclusion, that is some table or not computer. According to the basic diagram, some table or not computer. Yeah, it's exactly correct. 100% there is no connection between table and a computer. So we can say that some table or not computer, in the basic diagram it is true. When we draw onto the possible diagram, we can draw a computer like this, right? So when you draw a computer like this in the possible diagram, we can draw a smartphone like this, computer like this. When you draw a diagram like this, they are saying some table or not computer. But in the possible diagram, we are saying some table or computer. It is 100% false in the possible diagram. So 100% true in basic, 100% false in possible diagram. So we can say that conclusion number 1 and conclusion number 2 satisfies the complementary pair rule. So answer for first two conclusion is either or. Now let me move on to the second set, that is some laptops are smartphone and some laptops are not smartphone. So I can draw the diagram again. Some laptops are computers, right? Okay, so second set of conclusion. Some laptop are smartphone and some laptop are not smartphone. So what you need to do in this, you need to concentrate on the fourth conclusion, some laptops are not smartphone. So listen carefully, just look at the diagram. They are saying some laptops are not smartphone. In the basic diagram itself, some laptop are smartphone. Friends, can you able to understand this? In the basic diagram itself, we can say some laptops are smartphone, but they are saying some laptops are not smartphone. In the basic diagram itself, where it is false. What I have told you initially, if it is false in the basic diagram itself, then it is not a complementary pair. You don't want to draw a possible diagram for it. Friends, got it? In all the previous conclusion, initially in the basic diagram it is true. So only we have gone for the possible diagram. But in this case, some laptops are not smartphone. In the basic diagram itself, it is getting false. So you don't want to draw a possible diagram. So conclusion number 3 and conclusion number 4 is not at all a complementary pair. You need to check conclusion number 3 separately and conclusion number 4 separately. So conclusion number 4, some laptops are not smartphone, but we are getting some laptops are smartphone. So we can say that conclusion number 4 is false. Conclusion number 3, now you need to concentrate on conclusion number 3. Some laptops are smartphone. Yeah, some laptops are smartphone is correct. So finally, answer for this question, either 1 or 2 follows and 3 follows. Friends, got it? Answer for this question, first two conclusions satisfies the complementary pair rule. So either 1 or 2 follows and separately 3 alone follows. So answer is either 1 or 2 follows and 3 follows. So friends, got it? Most important question. It looks like a complementary pair, but it does not satisfy the rule. In the basic diagram itself, some laptops are not smartphone is wrong. If it is wrong in the basic diagram itself, you don't want to go with the possible diagram. You can directly say it does not follows the complementary pair rule. So we need to check conclusion number 3 separately and conclusion number 4 separately. So conclusion number 3, some laptops are smartphone. Yeah, it is correct. Conclusion number 4, some laptops are not smartphone. No, it is wrong. So we can say that answer is first two conclusion either or and 3 alone follows. So friends, got it? So finally, I think we have solved first 4 question. So first 3 question, why complementary pair follows, and the fourth question, first 2 cases complementary pair follows and the last 2 cases complementary pair does not follows. So still we are going to solve 3 questions, and now we are going to solve all the 3 questions where the complementary pair does not follows. Question number 5, all windows are doors. So all window are door. The second statement is no door is a lock. And the last statement is some locks are key. Okay, so finally we have drawn the Venn diagram for the given statement, right? So look at the conclusion number 1, some locks are door, and the second conclusion is some locks are not door. So it looks like a complementary pair. Now let me check whether it satisfies the rule or not. Second conclusion, some locks are not door. Listen carefully, some lock, lock some will be this region. So some lock or not door is correct. In the basic diagram, according to the conclusion, some lock should not be door. Yeah, it is correct. Some lock is not door. So we can say that in the basic diagram it is true. Now let me move on to the possible diagram. In the possible diagram, they are saying some locks are not door. Whether we can connect lock with the door, it is not at all possible. Even when you draw thousands of possible diagram, there is no chance of connecting lock and a door. So similarly, they are saying some locks are not door. In every possible diagram, we can say that locks and door, there will not be any connection between locks and door. In all the possible diagram, it is correct. So what I told you is, in the basic diagram it should be true, in the possible diagram it should be false. But in the basic diagram also true, in all the possible diagram also it is true. So we should not say the conclusion is a complementary pair. We need to check conclusion number 1 separately and conclusion number 2 separately. So conclusion number 1, some locks are door. Some locks are door. Conclusion number 1 is wrong. Conclusion number 2, some locks are not door. Some lock, this region is not door, is correct. So answer for this question number 5, conclusion 2 alone follows. Friends, got it? In all the previous question, in the basic diagram it is true, while drawing a possible diagram where the conclusion is false. So we have said that it satisfies the complementary pair rule. So the answer for that question is either or. But in this case, in the basic diagram it is true, and also in a possible diagram also it is true. Why? Because there is no chance of connecting lock and a door. So even you draw many possible diagram, definitely there is no chance of connecting lock and a door. So we can say that in a possible diagram it is true. In both the diagram it is getting true. So it does not satisfy the complementary pair rule. So in this case, you need to check conclusion number 1 separately, conclusion number 2 separately. While checking conclusion number 1, some locks are door is wrong. While checking conclusion number 2, some locks are not door is correct. So answer for this question number 5, conclusion 2 alone follows. Question number 6, some car or pen. So some car or pen. And the next is no pen is a scooter. So no pen is a scooter. And the last statement, all trucks are scooter. So all trucks are scooter. So let me do one thing. No pen is a scooter. And the last statement is all trucks are scooter. So all truck are scooter. So finally we have drawn the basic diagram for the given statement, right? So conclusion number 1, some scooter or not pen. Conclusion number 2, some scooter or pen. So it looks like a complementary pair. First let me check the conclusion number 1, some scooter or not pen. Some scooter or not pen. Some scooter will be this complete region. They are saying that this complete region is not pen. Yeah, it is exactly correct. According to the basic diagram, some scooter, this complete region is not pen is correct. So when we move on to the possible diagram, even you draw 10 or 20 possible diagram, definitely some scooter, this region, there is no possible of connecting with the pen. Why? Because we already know that no pen is a scooter, and there is no chance of connecting scooter with the pen. If there is no chance of connecting scooter with the pen, then we can't able to connect the truck also with the pen, right? So we can surely say that in all the possible diagram, definitely some scooter or not pen is true again and again, because this region definitely we can't able to connect with the pen. So we can say that some scooter or not pen, even in a possible diagram it is true. So in the basic diagram also it's true, in a possible diagram is also true. So it does not satisfy the complementary pair rule. So you need to check both the conclusions separately. So some scooter or not pen, first conclusion, some scooter or not pen is correct. Second conclusion, some scooter or pen, there is no connection between scooter and pen. So conclusion number 2 false. So answer for this question, conclusion 1 alone false. Friends, got it? If it is false in a possible diagram, then we can directly say it satisfies the complementary pair. But when there is no chance of drawing a possible diagram here, right? You can connect scooter with the car, or you can connect truck with the car, but the diagram what we need to connect the scooter with pen, but there is no chance of connecting a scooter with the pen. So we can say that it does not satisfy the complementary pair. So answer for this question is conclusion 1 alone follows. A last question, some cups are built. And the second statement is no belt is yellow. Okay, So the conclusion number 1, some cup are yellow, and the conclusion number 2, some cup are not yellow. So listen here, it looks like a complementary pair. So our target to check conclusion number 2, some cup are not yellow. So some cup, we can say that this region, they are saying that some cup are not yellow. Similarly, some cup, this region is not yellow is exactly correct. So in the basic diagram, it is correct. When we move on to the possible diagram, definitely in all the possible diagram, there is no chance of connecting this region with yellow. Got it? Clear on the concept? Even you draw yellow here, some students will say, I can draw yellow here, and they will say some cups are yellow. This region, some cups are yellow, right? Because some students will ask me a doubt. You are saying some cups are not yellow is true. In the possible diagram, I am saying some cups are yellow is true. But listen here, what I have told, in the possible diagram, it should be 100% false. It is only 50% false, and this 50% is true. Even you draw many possible diagram, you can make 99% false, but 1% every time it is true. Because some cups, this region is not yellow is always true in every possible diagram. So we can say that what I have told you, if it is 100% false, then only you should say it's a complementary pair. But in this case, it is not 100% false. Even 99% it is false, but 1% it is true. Some cups are not yellow. This region, in all the possible cases, this region will be true. So we can say that this does not follows the complementary pair, because this region is always getting true. So answer for this question, it does not follows a complementary pair. You need to check both the conclusions separately. Some cups are yellow, some cup are yellow is wrong. Second conclusion, some cup are not yellow. Yeah, some cup are not yellow is true. So answer for this question is some cup are not yellow. That is conclusion number 2 alone is true. Friends, I hope that you have really understood the concept of this complementary pair number 2. Right? So if you are still having any doubt on this complementary pair number 2, so do one thing, just post the question in the comment section. Within few days, just give me 1 week of time. So within 1 week, I will definitely make a video of it. What are all the questions that you are posting in the comment section? Right? Post only the question that is based on this complementary pair number 2. So just take your books or take memory based question papers and try to solve 20 or 30 questions based upon the complementary pair 2. So only you too will get an idea, right, when it is complementary pair and when it is not complementary pair. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you really like it and if you really understood the concept, share this video to your friends, because lots of students are having many doubts in the complementary pair 1 and pair 2. So if you share this video to your friends, so that your friends can also learn this concept clearly. So thank you so much for watching this. Bye.